Welcome back to GamesRadar live from Gamescom 2022, and Josh just got to play Lies of P, a weird kind of little Bloodborne-y, Souls-like indie game that's kind of taken the internet by storm. I think people are really excited for this one. So you got hands-on with 30 minutes, something like that?
Yeah, I think I played it for about 20, 25 minutes.
Okay.
Really fun. Like this game's been kicking around for a little while.
Yeah.
Like it's sort of caught people's attention. Obviously, it's this Souls-like that is based around the classic Pinocchio tale, the puppet that wants to be a real boy, except it's been sort of twisted in an almost like American McGee style way, where it's this really dark, subversive, gothic version of it. And yeah, like obviously we saw a new trailer opening night live, it sort of blew people away.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, is this either going to be, you know, Xbox's answer to Bloodborne?
Yeah.
You know, a game which is a couple of years old now, but there's nothing else really like it. It's coming to Game Pass, so, you know, Xbox fans were excited. And on the other side, it's like, well, is it just going to be budget Bloodborne from PlayStation owners' perspectives? And I think I found from playing it, it's kind of a mix of both. Like,
Okay.
you know, it feels really good. It's so familiar to that sort of Souls design, but it doesn't have the sort of crunch and the flourish that you'd see in something like a Bloodborne or Elden Ring or a Dark Souls. But you know, that's the difference between one of the biggest and most experienced studios in the world versus a much smaller operation. But yeah, it was very impressive, really, all things considered.
Well, that's it. And I think, you know, we've seen a few games like this at Gamescom, which are visually stunning, coming out of really small studios, the power of that next-gen hardware, I guess. Tonally, the world and stuff, did you get an idea of any of that, or was it kind of just straight gameplay? Did you see any cutscenes or story? Or
didn't see too much story. We can touch on the story in a second because they are doing some, well, they're promising to do some really interesting things. But in terms of the world, yeah, it looks gorgeous, like really detailed. And again, it has that sort of Bloodborne feel where it's all little shortcuts and, you know, ladders that need to be dropped down that sort of open up different areas. And obviously around literally every corner are some sort of enemies that require, you know, a fair degree of hacking and or slashing to defeat. And yeah, it feels good. The world feels good. It definitely feels like a place you want to explore. Like, part of the story is Pinocchio trying to find his creator, Geppetto, whatever his name is. So he's looking for him in the city of Krat, which was this like once idyllic place that's been sort of ruined over time. And the other side is Pinocchio trying to sort of claim humanity, which is where the really interesting story mechanics come in, which we didn't see in my demo. But at the end of quests, Pinocchio will sort of meet NPCs. And the more you lie to those NPCs in conversations, the more he will restore humanity.
Right.
And that will then impact the enemies you fight, the outcomes you come across, and the endings as well. So you have to try and figure out, like, what's the most human thing I could say to these characters that's also a lie.
Oh, interesting.
And then, so yeah, which is really cool, right?
Yeah,
like,
really
it's such
cool
an interesting idea.
The people from the family took my baby away from me and left me locked here. They said that the baby was to escape to the city hall, but I know my baby can only be happy when she's with her mother. Please find my baby. Oh, you are a truly kind person. Thank you so much. My lovely Elena, I can finally meet you again.
We've seen so many Souls-like games come out, not many with like dialogue options and kind of this idea of sort of morality, I guess, and humanity and built into that. So really interesting. And then, so did you get a feel for, I guess, how many weapons would be involved? Are you switching weapons constantly? Is there a lot of inventory management?
So this is another really interesting thing they're doing, which sort of separates it from the Souls games to a degree. So there are bonfires, they're not called bonfires. You know, there are souls that you collect, they're not called souls. You know, it's sort of like archetypal in that respect. But when you get to the not bonfires, you can access various menus, you can enhance your abilities, you can enhance your weapons. But one really interesting thing they're doing is weapon combinations. So as you collect different weapons, you can actually, I believe, change the hilt and change the sort of blade, or if it's a blunt weapon, the top. And there are over 30 weapon combinations that you can create.
Right.
So you get the sort of ability to sort of mix and match what you're doing and really tailor in your playstyle. And something else they're doing as well is Pinocchio's left arm is like a appendage, a mechanical appendage.
Okay.
And there are, I believe, 8 different attachments. You know, there's one that's like shoots a flame blast at enemies. There's one that's a grappling hook, which is really cool when I figured out that you could change them, because you can either reel enemies in, or you can do a maneuver if you get the timing right, where Pinocchio will latch onto an enemy a fair distance away, pull himself in, and then if you get a light attack timed correctly, he does this like pirouette up into the air and then like slashes down.
Very cool.
It looked awesome.
Yeah.
Like Yeah, that was really fun. So like it looks like there's a fair amount of depth.
Yeah.
Which is great, and as I said, a sort of opportunity to really make Pinocchio your own, which isn't a sentence I thought I'd be saying, but that's kind of what happens at Gamescom, right?
Yeah, well, exactly. And you know, the inspirations are clear, right? You're talking about that kind of arm appendage, which is straight out of Sekiro,
yes,
right? Exactly. And so the inspirations are clear for this game, and I'm super excited for it. It's coming 2023 at some point. We still don't know when quite yet, but I promise you we will be doing a full video review of it when we do finally get our hands on it. So make sure you subscribe to GamesRadar on YouTube, and we'll see you on the next one.